Hello, seekers and confessors, and welcome to the Sword of Truth podcast, the chapter-by-chapter reread of the Sword of Truth series with a cacophonous maelstrom of mead on this side. I'm Nate, and I'm here with my two time-traveling companions, Jade and Aaron.
Hello!
Hi.
And today, we're going to be pretending everything is normal, cool, and good while we read through part 2 of Dead of Bones.
DoB.
DoB.
DoB. Affectionately known as DoB.
I was just thinking about how you could also read my two time traveling companions in a different way, and it would be like two time traveling companions, like they're two timing people.
And they're just traveling companions?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we've gone on 3 trips now, so they're my 2-time traveling companions.
Oh, I see.
Oh, no.
2 times.
But there's also two timing people,
Aaron's
like people who are
the-
doing bad
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
That's wherever you put the
Yeah.
emphasis, completely different phrase.
Yeah.
My 2-time
all.
traveling companions.
Okay, sorry.
Hey, words are cool.
Fun. Ah!
For those of you reading along, this will cover pages 31 to 90. And then for those of you who listen to the audiobooks, it'll be from minute mark 33 minutes, 30 seconds to about an hour and 2 minutes.
Unless you make it really fast or really slow.
Yeah. The other problem with what I just said, and I realized this just now, is that depending on the size of text you have,
Yeah.
because I have the digital edition.
Everything's subjective.
Right? So it's a part of Dead of Bones. It's after the beginning and somewhere before the end, roughly on the front half.
Y'all are smart. You'll figure
That's
it
about
out.
where we are.
Yeah, it's if you were to break the book up into equal parts, we think it'd be roughly 7. So
Yeah.
go to where you think the 7th is. That's what we're doing today.
Go to the second 7.
Oh my god.
Okay, here's what you want to do. You got to get in your car. You got to go to the store. You've got to get the little electrical plug, the one that doesn't
multiple
quite
boxes
fit your
forming
TV.
on the screen.
Yeah, then you've got to splice that and then plug it into. I don't know what I'm talking about. Shall we get into it?
Question mark, profit. I follow along completely, my guy.
Yeah, if that made sense to you, please send me an email. All right, let's do this thing. When we left off, she was admitted to the first wizard's chamber, right?
Yes.
She was told she could actually go in and talk to the man himself.
Mm-hmm.
After, of course, we see the nobleman lose his head and
Yeah.
be taken out by his buddies.
Well,
Nobleman.
I think he lost his body.
Nobleman.
He had his head. He lost his body.
Oh, yeah.
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 Well, his buddies had his head.
True.
We haven't seen the body. We don't know what happened.
That's
to
what I mean. Yeah, we don't know where
I
the
think
body
the problem is we've finally figured out, yes, you can, in fact, be in 2 places at once. But you're not going to be alive to do so.
You might
so,
not be happy about it.
Technically, you're in 2 places at once, but you're also nowhere.
Yeah, yes, that.
Nah, he's in hell.
Well, Abby enters the first wizard's chamber, and inside is pure chaos. It stinks, it's loud, it's messy, and it's full of people who are already talking to the first wizard. All, by the way, at the same time.
I didn't pay attention to what they said about most of the smells, but they talked about food. And so, I mean,
Yeah.
it might not be all bad.
There was some specific, I believe sausage was thrown in there at
Yeah,
some point.
some
There
kinda,
was definitely
meat.
sausage mentioned. This is the front cover is what I'm thinking, with food just kind of haphazardly placed wherever, because
Yeah.
this is a very lived-in space we're walking into.
Well, and I mean, look, he hasn't been officially name dropped yet, but we know who this is.
Yeah.
It makes sense that there's food
Food is a thing.
all over.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. You never know when someone's going to get hungry.
There's food. It's a little messy. And part of the mess that includes is a trail of blood
Mhm.
that was left by the newly headless noble while the sorceress tells her to just ignore everything else and everyone. Everything is cool and good. Just talk to the first wizard like normal and he'll hear you.
This is absolute insanity. Like,
I'm glad you mentioned that because Abby is also dumbfounded at this. She's like, what the fuck do you want me to do now? Just talk to him.
because, you think that you're going in for a private meeting and it's not.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a ton of people there. And initially, you obviously you think it's because he's super busy, and he is. There's a ton of people in here. But this is not efficient. You can't, yes, he's a very capable person, but nobody's getting full attention here. This is not good. Not a good situation.
Wildly stress-inducing,
yes.
I've got to imagine.
Yes.
And she was warned this is what it was going to be. I get that it was 15 seconds ago she was warned. So I completely understand and sympathize with the initial confusion, but this is the first wizard. Why would you expect it to be normal? This is the most magical dude probably ever, as far as you're concerned, because he's the first wizard. Don't have expectations of normalcy.
Yeah, she made some assumptions about what was going to go down, and this is completely different than she was hoping.
And this is why everyone doesn't get to come in here.
Yeah,
that's true.
Again, I get the initial, this is weird. But as this chapter as this part goes, I get less sympathetic towards Abby. Because it's girl, you were told what to do.
Yeah.
Do what you were told.
It is kind of the way it goes sometimes when you build up your expectations for something. You're like, okay, I got to go talk to the guy about the thing. And he's going to be like, yes, I'm going to help you. And it's going to be awesome. And then you walk in and you realize you are not the most important thing that's happening that day.
Yeah.
People have lives and other things are going on. And you're like, oh, fuck, this is not going well already.
Well, and we already got mentioned that her mom was a sorceress, right? Or her mom was magical.
Yes.
We already know. So it's she's been around magic.
We can discuss it a little bit more because I have the other side to that too that I came to, I think, when I was listening.
Abby scans the room and through the beehive of people sees the mother confessor herself looking right at her. Not knowing what else to do, she bows until her fucking back hurts because in part 1, she was like, looking at a mother confessor will destroy your soul. So we're not going to start now.
Just a confessor.
Right. Just
not even
confessor.
the mother confessor.
This is the mother confessor. And you've skipped avoiding eye contact and you just looked right into her eyes. And you're like, oh, God.
Yeah. Stomach in her butt.
Yeah. So she immediately fucking hits the floor. The mother confessor says, rise, my child. But the sorceress has to prompt her to stand because she's like, no, the floor is good. I'll just stay down here if it's cool with all of you guys. I don't have to look at people. But when she does, she's formally introduced to the first wizard. He
might be. We're not told he's not.
I'm imagining he's doing something akin to the Harry Potter wizards, and he just gets to sit in his throne and eat all day and just, take care of that shit magically. But no, Abby is introduced to the first wizard, Zedekis Zul Zorander.
Please.
Yes.
I'm going to say that they do mention, I don't know if they did in the first, or we maybe just breezed past it because we had other shit to talk about. But the confessors that are not the mother confessor wear black dresses, which is super cool. But also, just to be a little nitpick for Jade from the TV show, all of the confessors in the goddamn TV show wear the white dress.
Yeah. Oh my God, you're right.
It pissed me off so much.
Yeah.
Sorry. And I think we maybe did talk about it in the regular books, but that's the thing. It's cooler. They had ranks of confessors, and then there was the one in the white dress. That's why it was dramatic and cool.
Yeah.
That she was wearing the white one. It symbolized her status. So the fact that the TV show just fucking did that.
Well, we've talked about this before, where Kaylin is meant to be viewed as pure.
Yes.
Right? And this is not Kaylin. This is before Kaylin's time.
No, it is the mother confessor.
But it's the mother confessor, and that character is meant to be the anchor of pureness for the
mother
book.
confessor, the main character, the MC.
The MC, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, to Abby's shock, the first wizard looks young. He's about Abby's age, very skinny. Not bad looking either, even though he's got messy hair, another Harry Potter trait going on here. His hazel eyes have a sort of timeless wisdom in them, but they also...
Hazel's sometimes green.
Is that true?
Well, it's hazel is green and brown.
I guess I technically have hazel eyes. I never really understood what it meant.
This is just Harry Potter.
There's a little green in your eye. It pulls.
This is what he does after Hogwarts.
Yeah, this is after
he changes
Hogwarts.
his name to Zed.
Wow.
He gets fucked up using a time turner.
His eyes, though, they also look bloodshot and stressed the fuck out. Probably because he's got a bunch of people talking at him all at the same time.
Well,
I know
yeah.
I would not do well in this situation.
There's also, the war going on.
Yeah, yeah, literally fighting a war.
Yeah.
And the last little detail that we see in Zed's description here is that he is holding the blonde lock of hair that had been in the nobleman's hand.
So I like that we're seeing young Zed. I don't like the weird hair stuff that's going on.
No?
I like the sack talk from part 1. I'm not caring for the hair stuff.
Why so
why do we need to be
weird?
weird about hair?
Why are you so weird? Okay. I think it's supposed to show you just that you should be paying attention.
Agreed, but it's like
it's probably not so simple as
yeah.
I don't know, because you assume that he just got pissed off at that dude and was like, dead! But now also we see that there's 50 people in here, so he would have done that in front of a whole bunch of fucking people, so...
That's true.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think about that till right now. They probably all witnessed that just happen.
And none of those people are freaked out.
And everybody got right back to normal. That's like with the sorcerers. It's just like, hey, just pretend everything's cool. Ignore the big trail of blood by the door. You're just going to talk to the guy. This is cool and good and fine.
That's where I totally get the shock factor. Because everyone else but Abby in the room is used to this.
Yeah.
So at first, obviously, this is pure chaos for her.
I do wish that they had somebody come in halfway through the scene with a bucket and a mop and just I got it. Don't worry.
Don't mind
we'll get
me.
to this.
This happens a
Careful.
few times a day.
Excuse me. Can you lift your foot, sir?
Well, Zed quickly establishes that Abby is a skip, which means that she doesn't have the magic. We know this about Abby. And then immediately starts making war plans with the officer. We don't know this guy's name. It's just annoying to me that our main character is being ignored for a no-name character.
Literally an NPC.
Yes, exactly. Giving instructions to a sorceress and then arguing with another wizard too, named Thomas. And he's arguing about a spell that he can 100% cast, but doesn't know if he should, just because the council wants him to do it.
Zed is arguing that he can cast.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Thomas is giving him a hard time, saying, "Oh, it's impossible.
Are you
or
sure?
You don't know what you're talking
Yeah.
about." Yeah. And so we learn about Zed that he's not going to be just pushed around.
Mm-hmm.
Abby is having a really hard time talking to him, while so many others are talking to him at the same time. But she manages to tell him that her home, Coney Crossing, was attacked by Daharan troops, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all she gets out, because the fucking general starts to yell and interrupts her again. This whole moment in time, Abby is dealing with the stress of a lot of people in the room. She's like, okay, just kind of talk to the wizard and just tell him your thing. And she's speaking quietly, not above the volume of anybody else in the room. So she's fighting for the confidence to even be able to say anything to this guy, and it's stressing her out.
Yeah.
I think that she's been told he will hear you no matter what, if you're talking or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think it's the fact that even if someone's like, I can hear you while they're doing something else, if you don't have their eyes on you and their full attention, you feel like they aren't absorbing especially the importance of your words, let alone the words themselves. Also, we know her mom was a sorceress, right? She's been around important people. She is not, though. And she knows that at this point. She's been treated as a lesser than or normal person, but that means that everybody else in this room are important people, and they are all there with important things to say. And it feels like when you go up to talk to somebody and a whole bunch of other people who you think have more important topics come up and keep interrupting, and you feel like, well, they obviously know that they have the right to talk in front of me because they just came up and fucking did it.
Yeah.
So she just has to she doesn't have the confidence in herself to be like, yeah, I have the right to be speaking over these people at this point.
Well, and that's the other thing of it, I think. She was told, look, you can just talk normal, but that's not what everybody else in the room is necessarily doing. This general just started to yell over everyone else to, I don't know if Zed's like only paying attention to one at a time, or like you said, only looking at one person at a time, but other people are employing usual methods of getting attention, getting louder, moving to the front. And Abby is not going to contend with that at all. So she's just not realizing that she can just be like, hey, I'm Abby and I fucking need help.
Yeah.
You know, it's too much for her.
And it doesn't help that when she gets cut off, he does turn and start responding to the other person.
Yeah.
So if she had kept talking, we don't know what might have happened. Maybe he would have continued listening, but it does definitely seem like, okay, I've dismissed your concern and I'm moving on to other matters now.
It's the thing of, this is what she's seeing, this is what she's observing. It's not what she was told, though. She was told, hey, you're going to go see the first wizard, the most magical person in the fucking continent. Just talk. And then she goes in and never just talks. I get initial confusion and cat. Absolutely.
Just saw a guy get murdered.
Yeah.
And you're in a room of 30 people.
That,
just talk.
Part of me is like, maybe this is all a hallucination. But, but it's the ingrained thing of like not being able to put your balls on the table in front of other people because that's not your right to be able to do that. And you just saw someone get murdered potentially for coming in here and speaking, and like she doesn't know the whole story, so it could have been he just talked out of fucking turn.
Yeah.
Even though she was just told to talk out of turn. Who fucking knows?
Right, but it's who fucking the sorceress who told her what to do knows, though. Like, someone in the know told you what to do.
Yeah, that other guy got told the same thing. I just think it's more nuanced than that. Like, when you're in the moment. I mean, I know that we're arguing about a book anyways, so this happened. But I just feel like we can't speak for her. Because, I had the same thoughts that you did.
Yeah.
But then, as I was thinking about it, I was like, if I was standing in that fucking spot, probably act the same way.
Yeah, I'm very much armchair quarterbacking on Monday morning going, they should have done this.
This is a never-ending story all over again. You guys are screaming in the attic, just talk to the wizard! And he's just not doing it,
Back in my day, people just talked when they were told to talk. Okay, I do think it's more nuanced. And if I was in her shoes, there's a good chance I would react the same way.
And we would be like, just fucking talk, Aaron.
Yeah. And I would agree with you.
Well, when the general interrupts Abby and starts to yell, he does so by saying that they must hunt down and kill every person working for Panis Raw, and is upset that all Zed wants to do is unleash the underworld itself on them, if that's even possible. Wink.
Yeah. Seeing as we just left this conversation about Thomas and the other guy questioning if Zed can do something, and then Zed is like, no, I can 100% do it, and then they go, we can't unleash the underworld. I know what the fuck's going on, guys.
Yeah,
the spell is to unleash the underworld.
Well, I mean, and we know that historically in a Good Kind book, anytime somebody says, is that even possible? It's probably going to happen in the course of the book.
Yeah.
And also, like that tradition, we have a tradition of our own here, and I think it's about time to uphold it. I think it's time we take a little beer break.
I didn't want to interrupt, but my glass is empty.
Well, you can't have that.
No.
And
we can't.
In my power as a wizard, do grant your request. Hey, dude, to fill your beer glass.
Careful, dude. There's actual wizards around here.
Does that mean that you're going to get up and go get them?
Yeah, you're going to get up and go get them?
Let's not get carried away.
Is it a you buy, I'll fly type thing?
I mean, if you'd be willing.
Can you make me fly?
Yeah. Yes, I can. All right, we are going to take a little break, and we will be back. I don't know why that was hard to say. Right after this.
Well.
Oh, hey, Aaron. What did Maggie pour up for us today?
Today, we have Adesanya. Nope, said it wrong. Adesanya.
Nope, you had it right the first time.
It's the confidence. It is a mead from Adesanya Mead and Microbrewery, and it is shiftless when idle. Passion fruit mead with natural vanilla, which is the plant, which is a good thing.
Yes. Yeah.
And it is 8%. alcohol by volume. And they have nothing. There's no sweet little blurb.
Oh.
Well, hold on. There's no history. And you want to know why? They're telling you right now, don't need it. This is mead and this is good. You know what?
Speaks for itself.
Here's what they tell. Here's what you need to know about this mead. Share, sip, and enjoy. That's all. So let's give it a go. Oh, it's got a good smell first.
Holy shit, that is so good.
It has an interesting smell. I don't know that everyone would find that good, but
It does have an interesting smell. I will say the passion fruit, which I guess in reality, I really don't know what passion fruit tastes like. But if it tastes like this, then I'm a big fan.
Well, that's passion fruit with vanilla and honey, it being mead. But yeah, we've had, I think Perrin does a good passion fruit goza. But guys,
that's true.
I don't want to talk about other breweries and other beers right now.
No.
Because this deserves 100% of my attention.
This is fantastic. We were looking for meads for this run through, and I found this place just 3 doors down from our local game shop. So while I was there, I was just like, well, we're going to go and grab some of these for the show. And I had one beer while I was there, or one mead. And I am so glad that I found this place. I will be going back there several more times, for sure.
So hold on. I found a secret message. If you are reading this, smile, because you are freaking awesome.
Aw.
They got it in like a really orange lettering, and the can is very yellow and orange hued. That's fantastic. We'll take a picture of that and post it on this, and we'll for sure remember to do that. But anyway, we got to get into the ratings, guys. This beer deserves a goddamn rating. And we did learn that vanilla, if it doesn't come from the plant, it comes from somewhere near a beaver's butt.
Near.
Unnatural vanilla comes from somewhere near a beaver's butt. Therefore, we are rating this out of 10 beaver butts.
Oh,
and look, I'm just going to cut to the chase.
Okay.
10. This is a perfect drink. I can drink this on the river. I could drink this when it's 10 degrees below zero.
Yeah.
I could drink this at night. I will drink this when I roll out of bed in the morning. I'll drink it on a golf course. I would drink it after I play basketball.
in a house with a mouse?
I would drink it in a house with a mouse. I would drink this everywhere. This is great.
Yeah. It's
10.
really fantastic.
10.
I'm going to say 9, but only because I've had one other thing from this brewery here. And I think I like it better than this. So I just got to leave that perfect spot all the way open.
Sounds like there's another 10 headed my way.
Yeah.
I think it's probably like an 8 or 9. I think it's a solid drink. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not maybe I think it can be, if you were drinking a lot of it, and I think this is maybe true because ciders, meads, they're very sweet. So I don't know how consistent, but also you don't drink a lot of them. You're not meant to. That's why they're
8%.
higher percent.
Yeah.
Right. But I think it is very nice. It is a nice drink. So I'm going to give it like an 8.
I think that's great. And I got a warm feeling in my tummy right now. And I'm ready to get back to the chapter.
Yeah, let's do it.
You good? You guys do it good doing that? Like maybe write a meow? I said meow. It sounds like now.
And we're back.
I just got back, Mike. Here you go. That's yours. That's you. Why does it feel like you guys get service like right away? You go up. I have money. I'm trying to give them money. They need to do they not want my money? She's always quick for you guys.
Who, Maggie?
I don't know her name. She's a barkeep.
You mean the owner and operator of this entire establishment that we stay in and eat in and drink in?
No, she just pours the beer.
Oh, God, Aaron.
We've talked to her like many, many times.
Yeah.
Not with me.
We're like old friends.
Well, you were there.
Dude, we've been here like a whole day. Well, I've been here a whole 8 days.
You guys are gaslighting me.
How many drinks have we had since we've been here? Plenty. And we've been chatting with her the whole time. You're a jerk. That's what that is. You're a jerk.
No.
You're a
I think
jerk.
it's more nuanced than that.
Anyway, let's get back to the story. The sorceress tells Abby that if she's lost her nerve, if she can't speak up and talk to the wizard, then she will just escort her out. Abby starts what could have been a beautiful speech, but then is interrupted again by the general and Thomas. But Zed is done arguing at this point, so he says, fuck it, I'll prove it.
I would like to clarify that because we never get a name for the general, in my head, I am picturing the general from the car insurance
The short
commercial.
little 2-foot guy.
Big
That's
old
why he's
mustache,
hollering.
helmet's down covering his eyes. He can't see.
Up on an apple box because he's fucking tiny.
And he is a cartoon still. It's literally, it's not the human version of him. No. It's the cartoon version of him talking to young Zed.
This is
And his mustache is just dancing.
Now I'm thinking of the rhyme. If I don't do this, we'll all be Zed. I need to go talk to the wizard Zed.
That's good rhyming.
I just realized this is very similar to like being, not that this ever happened, but like you go into like some very big corporate office and you're like, I want to talk to the president of the of fucking Amazon.
Yeah.
And then they escort you up there and they're in the middle of a busy ass meeting with 12 different other fucking corporate douche nozzles.
Oh, it's the stockholders.
And they're all yelling and whatever. And the secretary is just like, if you're gonna talk, you better fucking talk. And you're like, do you see what's happening in front of me? And they're like, no, you better fucking get to it. And absolutely not.
Yeah, actually, that does make me, I am a little bit more sympathetic than I was earlier now. That's a much more realistic thing where I'm like, actually, yeah, no, I would be nervous. I do think I would. I do think I would talk.
No, you should.
But it probably would take me longer than what I'm saying.
These people are doing some shit that I don't know about.
Yeah, for the moment, Abby has lost her ability to now talk to the... I mean, technically, maybe she still could, but now he seems actively engaged in doing something. And the whole crowd falls silent as the first wizard draws the grace backwards from the way that people normally do it, which we know the exact way that it's drawn is a big fucking deal.
Mm-hmm.
There's meaning in the way that it's drawn. So he's doing it this totally weird way that other people have heard is like dangerous and or evil.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. But again, he's the first wizard. So, like, if anybody's going to do it, I kind of feel like he's the guy.
Well, and Abby even says that. Like, she even says, like, well, he's the first wizard.
Yeah.
So this was...
Guys, he probably makes the rules on this, so...
Take that same critical thinking and apply it to you talking to him. You're just assuming he's doing it correct that way. You should then just assume that he can hear you if you talk, even when he's not looking. Like
that's true.
That's all I'm saying.
But we also know that if you fuck up a grace, bad things can happen. It's got to be drawn exact. And he's drawing it in sand, which it still blows my fucking mind that people can do this, but then also be precise.
Oh, yeah. It's
right?
like, oh, he let it fall out
crazy.
of the side of his hand, and it's precise as fuck.
Have you ever watched the TikToks and the Facebook Reels of people making those fucking sand art mandala things?
Yeah,
that's true.
I have seen those. Those are pretty impressive.
Yeah, and they do look pretty precise.
Maybe
okay.
Those are modern day wizards. People making sand castles. Yeah.
But I do want to point out that I think it's mentioned. This isn't like white sand or black sand, so it's not like sorcerer's sand. So I think it's like she mentions that her mom used to use sand to practice with.
Yeah.
So it's less dangerous than
just
using
regular sand.
Yeah, than using blood or
That's a good
ashes
idea.
or like, sorcerer's sand.
I went back a few times, like rereading and re-listening, where I'm like, did they say it's sorcerer's sand? And it's like, no, I don't think they ever said it was. It just says sand.
It's kind of like putting a rocket into space. I mean, you really do have to get it right the absolute first time it goes up. So all the math and everything has to be done ahead of time, all the preparation. Because if it doesn't go right, then, I mean, well.
Right.
If at first you don't succeed, you shouldn't parachute.
Or at least you won't need to.
Yeah.
When he arcs the magic, right? The line ends up in the world of the dead because he leaves the line open. So not only is he drawing it in the wrong order, he's also drawing it in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
This did make me want to draw the grace in the way they described because my brain was not letting me see what they meant.
Well, Thomas, who now has absolutely lost his shit and lost the argument too, argues with Zed that maybe the council doesn't know what it's really asking for, and maybe it's better for us to not do it. Zed puts this thing out on the ground, and Thomas is like, "What? Hey, buddy, maybe not actually."
Oh, a perversion of the grace? Okay, maybe it's a bad idea.
You literally just asked me, Thomas, if this was possible. So here we are, and now you're complaining that I'm doing it. What do you want? I've got a room full of people here, and I just got to keep... You just keep needling me. I would be so annoyed with Thomas right now.
This is a scene perfectly lifted from like a sitcom from the 80s where it's like a husband and wife, and the husband finally goes, "Fine, you want me to do it? I'll do it." Does the thing, or even the other way, and then the other spouse is just like, "Oh, you did do it. Oh, I don't like it actually."
It's actually terrible. Well, this seems to be what Zed is ultimately struggling with. He feels like they have two choices. They can chase down they can chase down and murder the enemy at the cost of thousands of lives, or he can simply end it by using the big scary magic spell. And since no one can agree what's the right choice, the whole room just turns to fucking chaos again. They all just start arguing. Because Zed has now proved he can do this thing, right?
Yeah,
it's very mysterious. Yeah. We don't know exactly what it is. But his whole thing is, look, I can just end the war. I don't know exactly what his moral qualm is yet. But whatever this spell is, it's very destructive. So we can kind of assume that that's what he's weighing.
He mentioned the underworld, bringing the underworld down on them. And we've seen the perversion of the grace. So we can assume that if it were to go wrong, it's something to do with pulling the underworld to the world of the living, which inherently could go pretty fucked up, I assume.
Literally hell on earth? Oh, sounds great.
Yeah, so I think that's probably the qualm, but, it's that, or do we chase down the enemy and try to fight them and destroy them on their turf?
Yeah.
Which is a different war than them invading and trying to protect, them invading, you're trying to protect your land. Going into their land is a whole different thing.
Well, I think that's what the general is arguing, right?
Yeah.
You go in, you kill everybody, you lose a bunch of guys, or you wait, you bunker down, they come in and kill a bunch of your people, and, hopefully you fight them off. And Zed seems to be in the middle of both of those. He goes, or I can just stop it. But that's literal hell on earth, so that doesn't sound good either.
Yeah.
Well, and it's the thing of hey, we won the war. The common folk are going to be, hey, we won the war, but at what cost? Our leader used zombies. I don't like our leader anymore.
Right.
I don't try, it's that's a valid concern.
Yeah.
But,
but you have an answer. It's just not an answer people want to hear.
Yeah. No, and that's why being in power is difficult because, the other force has left your land now, and they are potentially weakened. So now would be your best chance to strike against them and totally crush their ability to come back at you. But in doing so, you're continuing the war that just ended because they left.
Right. Nobody's fighting right now.
Right.
There's no preservation of that.
Yeah, your people are safe. None of your civilians are now being murdered because of this.
Did you guys draw any parallels between this and the argument for using nuclear weapons? Hey, we can win the war, but we got to drop a couple of nuclear weapons.
You know what? I hadn't considered it in those terms before, but I mean, I think that's what it is.
Yeah, I don't think my brain had fully gone to that.
No,
parallel.
I just thought of that right now.
Yeah,
or at least that's what the perceived.
Yeah, that is definitely the idea of we could kill a lot of stuff, potentially kill the whole world, maybe, and end things, or we could just keep fighting, or we could just leave it alone and hope nothing bad happens from now on. Those are our options, and none of them look great.
Yeah, it's a really hard fucking choice that, I mean, what is it? Heavy is the head that wears the crown, right?
Yeah.
These are the choices that Zed has to weigh. But even though that's on his mind, then he turns his attention to Abby, silently commanding her to go on. At this point, he is like, hey, kid, I know there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Noticed you haven't been talking. This is your time. Now is your time. Maybe you just needed a little push.
Speak up or get out, because I got too much going on. I don't know if you noticed.
This is roughly where I start losing sympathy for Abby, because she's now been told multiple times. She's been told by the sorceress before she went in. She got told by the sorceress, if you lost your nerve, let's go.
Yeah.
And now Zed is going and looking at her going, talk.
She needed confirmation from the person
Yeah.
absolutely in charge.
Yeah, I do. I'm still more sympathetic than I was earlier because of our discussion, but it's like, this is where I was like, Abby, I get it, this is Cat, but like, do the thing, please.
Well, she finally does. She tells him that her people were taken and she heard the captives were being used as shields,
Mm-hmm.
which is fucking terrible. The Daharans called it dulling the enemy's weapons on their own women and children, which, as a name, equally terrible and a bad thing.
Yeah, not great marketing either. It's too wordy.
Yeah. Oh, they call
Shorten
it
it.
dulling the old weapon and walking over the horge and doing the thing in the blob or whatever. And it's just like, why so long?
Oh, you mean that classic technique of dulling the enemy's weapons on their own women and oh, yeah.
I think it's less about it being like a punchy word and more about that's a terrifying thing to hear. Like,
oh, yeah.
They're talking about it like marketing. That's what they're calling it to each other. And, you know, if any of the enemy hears that and they know that that's their method, that's fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Human shields. That's a hell of a fucking strategy. And, you know, I did actually think about this a little bit. If you're a soldier and you are charging in on the enemy and all of a sudden you see your family in front of the enemy, I mean, you're not going to want to kill your fucking family.
And if you,
now, to be very, very cynical, if it's not your fucking family, but you still have to kill the enemy.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's good, but I'm saying you've been instructed to kill that man at any cost. So what do you do?
The reason it's dulling and not stopping is because the idea is that they're still going to come after us. They're going to kill these people because they want to kill us so bad. And they're going to be tired out and emotionally drained.
Yeah.
And all of the, and hurt.
In fighting
their people.
You found out that the person that you now share a bunk with killed your wife because that was the human shield he went through. Hey, it's not good marketing. Great. It's maybe not great.
It's a good. It's
an effective strategy.
Tactic.
Yeah.
We're fucking killing it.
That's
today.
what it is. Well, I mean, I guess I don't really need to elaborate much more on this. If the army attacks, all of her people are going to die. Right?
Oh,
most of them have already been taken. Everybody that's left is not exactly a soldier. So it's not going to be fucking good. Zed has to do something now.
I do want to say that Zed makes a very, very clear point that the people who, like, her little town is part of a bigger like city or I don't know what the fuck they call it, you know,
Henderson
country.
Reach.
Henderson Reach, yeah.
You know, and that the representatives of that area chose not to be in the Midlands, like, fight against the Daharans.
Yeah, I think
very,
they were
very similar to
tried to choose neutrality.
Yeah, very similar to what is happening in the other Sword of Truth books, where some people were being like, "No, we don't want to." Richard was like, "Make a fucking choice, or we're not going to help you out."
Yeah.
So Zed is saying, "Hey, that whole group said no, and so we can't risk the bigger group of the army to come back in and save you now because we don't have the resource. You chose no.
Yeah,
we can't go back on that.
Right.
So I just wanted to bring that part up too because it ties back into the other book series, and I just think it's a like greater. It brings up the greater issue of like the politicalness of everything.
Well, it's like Zed even says, like, in different wording, but like actions have consequences.
Yeah.
Your government chose one thing. That's not my fault.
Yeah. And Richard would have probably acted a very, very similar way and been like, sorry, it is what it like. That sucks.
Yeah.
Small faction of people. I'm sorry. Can't help. Out of my hands.
Well, that is kind of what the sorceress mentioned in the first section, to where it's like, hey, you are important. You do matter to us, but we do have to consider the greater good right now. So just expect that
which is a
when you make your request. Yeah.
And so, you know, that's part of it, is like he says, hey, if we succumb to this tactic, they're going to do it more.
Yeah.
They're going to now capture more people because they know we're going to fall for it and we're going to lose this entire war.
Yeah.
Like that's what, like, because the general even comes in and is like, no, we can't do this. If you know, it's like you don't negotiate with terrorists because as soon as you do, they've already won.
Right, exactly. And so that's why Zed, he's forced to make the hard decision.
Mm-hmm.
He has to make the choice that nobody really wants to make or has the authority to make. And I think that's important going into how he considers Abby's request to save her people.
Mm-hmm.
Because Zed is the guy now that is going to make the hard choice.
And I just wanted to throw that in there just to say the choice has already been made before now. Like, he didn't even make this choice. Your government and our government came to a decision before now that we aren't helping you because you chose that way.
That's right. You're out of the group, kind of. Yeah. So, like, this is a consequence of your action, too.
Can't.
Well, I did have a little bit of, like, just Abby or someone from, I guess it'd be Abby right now, where it's like, hey, that's the decision your king made. It's just like, well, I didn't vote for him.
Not my king.
I wasn't going there. I was going more Monty Python. Like, your king says so.
Oh,
I didn't vote
mean
for
that
him.
in the most lighthearted and non-meaning way absolutely possible.
Hashtag.
I'm not saying you
shit.
do. I'm just saying I think we need to have a drink now.
Yeah, definitely. You know what? Why don't we do that? We are going to take a little break, and we will be back right after this.
Can one of you guys go get it this time?
I would love to go chat with her.
Okay.
Hey, Maggie. Can we get 3 more, please? Thank you, dear.
What the fuck?
She's real sweet. You just gotta talk to her.
Look, I get you guys are saying that I need to be nice to her, but I have been. I tell her she looks great every day.
Oh, God. Aaron.
And I'm trying to help. Like, tell me I'm wrong. She would probably get more tips if she smiled more.
No, Aaron, buddy. Okay,
No.
here, listen.
Also, she has a reason to not smile at you. You're a dick.
Okay, we're gonna go on with the story then?
Otherwise, I need to psychoanalyze Erin and fix some things about her friend.
I agree. We definitely don't have time for that. Okay, so after hearing Abby's request, the first wizard gives his answer. He says he's sorry, but he can't help her. Many more people would die if they abandoned this fight and tried to save them, so there's just nothing he can do. And then he turns away. Abby, I gotta imagine, full panic now, screams, "No, I have a bone!" And during this absolutely tense moment, Zed cracks what I think is the funniest joke of the whole fucking book. He says, "Doesn't everyone?" Aha, double guns.
I wish you would have turned around and been like, I got over 100 of them.
He looks at Abby and says, "Did you know that half of the bones in the human body are in the hands and feet?" So when someone says, "I'm going to break every bone in your body," it's ridiculous, but you could break half of them pretty easily. Just a fun fact. Anyways. And now Abby, she just unloads at him. She's been waiting so long for this meeting. It goes immediately bad, and then he tells her no. She screams at him that he's condemning her baby to death and demands to know what kind of monster he is.
I mean, I would argue the people that are threatening to kill your family by using them as human shields, that they're the ones condemning your family to death.
Well, yeah, and that's the concept
blame.
that's being toyed with here.
Yeah,
now, Zed is not choosing to help, but he's also not the one actively, like, murdering her family, but that's what she's accusing him of.
It's the Spider-Man problem. With great power
Everyone
comes
gets
great
one?
responsibility.
Okay, I was thinking everybody gets one. I was like, but not really.
Yeah, no, everyone gets one save.
One.
Everyone gets one save. Abby is asking for the one save.
And he's like, listen, groups of people count. That counts everybody in there.
Yeah.
So
no, this is more in the most recent, the Tom Holland version, the way he says this phrase. If bad things happen and you don't do anything, but you know you could have stopped him, they happen because of you.
Yeah.
And that's what Abby is saying of Zed. You know this is happening, and now you're choosing not to help. So therefore, if they die, it's your fault because you chose not to help. I don't agree with that.
Well, but also, yeah, because if I do that, then other people are probably, like, more people are going to die.
Right.
So, yeah. Absolutely,
It's
that's
the
true.
greater good argument.
And
Yeah.
I understand, like, being a mom, I'm like,
Mhm.
if that was my baby, yeah, I'd be like probably clawing down his face. But
Yeah.
also, there
Mhm.
are, unfortunately, a ton of people's babies who are dying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you're not the only person, and you're not, like, unfortunately, you're not special, and neither is your baby. And that's sad. But, ugh.
That's
Yeah.
what the line is. You're important, you matter, but you're not special.
Well, yeah,
But
is,
so is everybody else.
Yeah.
is what Abby is doing wrong? No.
Absolutely not.
Is what Zed's response wrong? No.
No.
Like, they're both in the right by doing what they're doing.
It's
But-
just really unfortunate.
That's not great for the two parties that are butting heads.
Yeah. Or the people in Pendleton Reach right now.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So he very calmly answers the question of what kind of monster he is
Mhm.
by saying, I am a man who must make choices such as this one, and I must deny your petition. She begs and repeats that she's got a bone debt, but he simply says, hey, can't be paid right now.
Well,
It's
now
just-
I have a bone to pick with you.
I'll just take the one in your pinky.
Do you know why I think Zed didn't respond to it? Is because she said bone debt, not debt of bones.
That's why I was like, you didn't say the title
said
of the
it
book.
Didn't say the
backwards.
title.
Yeah.
This is unimportant. Zed's waiting for the title of the book to happen.
You didn't say the thing.
She did not run up to him and go, Dob!
Stop.
Dob!
That's what
That's
she should
going
have
to
done.
sound
She
so
should
bad
have
when I cut that later.
She should have walked into the room just waving her bag,
Yeah.
screaming, Dom! Dom!
Just holler in the name of the book, and then he would have known, oh, this one's important.
Yes. Yes.
You might be the mother confessor, but I'm the main character, bitch.
Well, the sorceress starts to pull Abby towards the door, but she breaks away and runs out of the room crying. She failed. He wouldn't help her. And now her daughter is going to die.
Not great. Not a great end.
No, it's super fucking sad.
I want to clarify, this is where you chose to end this part.
I want you to feel bad right now, Aaron.
Wow, well.
I just, I have hope because she has been our only main character so far.
True.
Yeah.
And the book is called Dead of Bones. So I do feel like while it's not the happiest place to leave it, it is safe to assume we will have more of a resolution than this.
Yeah, Game of Thrones taught me I can't trust this kind of stuff, though.
I mean,
It might be bad.
Personally, I think that once she shows Zed her dumb fucking jug that she made, everything is going to be
She
resolved.
should have led with the jug.
She should have
Why
led
did
with the
she-
Put the
jug.
bone in the jug.
Why didn't you put your sack on the table, Abby?
She should have sacked up. She should have. Yeah.
You've been
Yeah.
carrying the sack around.
Yeah. Show off your sack. If you got a nice sack, show it off. I did want to bring up too. I missed it in the notes earlier, but we get a little bit of like a life lesson from Abby's mom, because when they talk about Abby being a skip, there's this little scene of Abby questioning like why did her mom do all these nice magical things, even though she never got thanked. And Abby's mom said, like, hey, you shouldn't expect thanks when doing nice things. Like, that can lead to you doing it for the wrong reasons. It can lead to you turning into a miserable person.
Yeah.
And it's like, that was nice. I do, like, sometimes we bring up that we don't like how Terry likes to throw life lessons in there because we don't always agree with them. But this one, that's a good one.
You're right. It's one of those, it's nice to be nice
Mhm.
and to have people be nice to you
Mhm.
kind of lessons. But yeah, it's a good reminder.
Yeah.
Well, and also a reminder that if you know somebody, this isn't explicitly said, this is just my brain, but if you know somebody who does nice things and repeatedly is expecting something in return or expecting praise for that, maybe they're not doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
And just keep that in mind. It's not like a call to action. It's just something to note.
That's all. I just wanted to bring that up.
No,
So
that's a really good point.
had
I'm
that
glad
thought
you brought
earlier.
that up.
Yeah.
If you wanted to let us know what Abby should have done, you can write in your journey books to podcastatt@gmail.com or visit us on patreon.com/podcastatt and join a tier of any amount. We sure would love seeing you there. If that's not your
They're
style,
happy tears.
yeah, you can always follow us on any of our social medias. And I would like to thank everybody for listening, and we'll see you real soon.
Bye. I'm trying to help. I'm trying.
No, Aaron, no.
No, because here's the thing. I'm not looking for thanks.
Here's how you can help.
Why do I always have to pay?